Greetings Whovians of YouTube and welcome to another video with me, Sutek of Mars. So for today's video, as dictated by the title, I thought I'd tell you about one of the greatest days of my life, if not the greatest. That's right, London Film and Comic Con 2016. So, on the 31st of July, accompanied by my sister and my father, I attended London Film and Comic Con, and without shadow of a doubt, as I've said, it was irrefutably the greatest day of this year and possibly of my life so far. Now, initially I was going to produce some sort of a vlog for the day, but I changed my mind on the basis that I'd rather experience the day through my own eyes as opposed to a lens, and I didn't want anything to just inhibit my day or constantly, incessantly being playing on my mind as I'm going about the place. But anyway, so I thought I would tell you about it for a video of this form. So to begin, we got up pretty early, family and I, at 7:30 AM, and we got the train at 8. And it's safe to say that wearing this costume you see behind you, my Sixth Doctor cosplay, I was incomprehensibly incongruous in the centre of Essex on the trains, and I received, I suppose one could say, perplexed stares from practically every single person I encountered, but I didn't feel awkward or silly at all. In fact, I revelled in it. I thought it was absolutely glorious to be that prominent and stand out and just be bizarre, because I love being bizarre. It would be normal, normal's boring. So anyway, yeah, it was, the train ride didn't take that awfully long, but we accidentally took the wrong train at one point, and I began panicking, but eventually we did reach the London XL. And as we got closer, we were joined on the train by cosplayers from all sorts of different programs. The closer we got, the amount of cosplayers increasing. On the station before we arrived at the London XL, there were numerous really rather brilliant cosplayers. There was the Flash, Daredevil, and an incontrovertibly superb one was Marty McFly from Back to the Future 2, with the red jacket and the hoverboard. I was just elated when I saw that. It was so brilliant. Anyway, we arrived, and naturally the congregation of seemingly innumerable stores was just bliss to look at. It's just when you walk into the Comic-Con, that feeling, so many different cosplayers, fans, and all those different stores. It's just quite extraordinary. So we walked around for a couple of hours, as you do, and we were surveying what merchandise was available. I was working on a budget this year. Unfortunately, I only had £85 on me, opposed to the £150 I had last con. So I wanted to survey all of the merchandise before I decided what I irrefutably wanted. And I took numerous pictures with some other cosplayers, which I shall hopefully show you at the end. And a couple of people even asked me for a photo, which was rather magnificent, I have to say. And I looked magnificent, honestly. And then after we'd done that, my sister, my father and I, we proceeded upstairs, where all of the celebrities resided, and where some of the greatest moments of my life occurred. Firstly, I met the Fraser Hines, the Jamie McCrimmon himself. I was exceedingly apprehensive, to say the least. Well, not apprehensive, wrong word, completely wrong word. Just incredibly nervous before I met him. But I went up, and in fact I had quite a long, lengthy conversation with him. I told him he was one of my absolute favourite companions, and I said that as long as the show goes on, you will always be a fan's favourite, and that is quite indubitable, I think you'll agree. And then he told me about how he met Peter Capaldi, and they did a couple of scenes together on the set, the TARDIS, and how Capaldi said to everyone in the room, if not for this guy and his doctor, we wouldn't be where we are now. And I thought that was such a brilliant story, and it's completely true. We have so much to thank Fraser and Patrick for. So yeah, he was just so kind and humorous, and we shook hands, and I said it was an absolute pleasure to meet you. And we had a little joke, and he admired my cosplay, and it was just wonderful. And when I obtained my autograph and I returned to my sister and my dad, they told me I was shaking, and I was shaking. Because not only was I so nervous, but I could barely comprehend with how wonderful Fraser was and what a conversation we had. Ugh. And then, after Fraser, as if it couldn't get any better, I met him. Yes, I mean him, I deceive you not. I met Colin Baker, my favourite incarnation of the Doctor, and my absolute eternal idol. Unfortunately, I didn't get to have that long of a conversation with him compared to Fraser, but what the exchanges we did have were just so wonderful. He said he loved my suit, and he said I looked very smart. And then I want to say you are my favourite Doctor, and he thanked me and said, "Oh, you're too kind." And then that was really about it. I'll try and show you the autograph at the end. I got a picture of him from Vengeance of Varos. You know, this is an illusion bit, a scene I am unfathomably fond of. So yeah, we shook hands, and it was just elating, one of the greatest moments of my life. And I'd planned that occurrence in my head innumerable times. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to say all I wanted to say, unless what we did talk about, like I said, was brilliant. It defies description, the elation I felt. However, once I'd met Colin and Fraser, there was one more person remaining. And that was another Doctor. To be precise, the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann. So yes, I lined up, and as I was walking towards him and choosing which picture I'd like to be autographed, he said, "Hello, Doctor," to me whilst I was wearing this costume, and that was just so wonderful to get called a Doctor by the Doctor. Oh, so wonderful. And I replied to him, and "Hello, Doctor," because obviously he's Doctor as well. It was quite extraordinary. I told him he was brilliant in Doctor the movie, and I adored him in Night of the Doctor, something I have viewed innumerable times and I love immeasurably. He said in response that I am a man of impeccable taste, and we shook hands, and then said it was a pleasure, and we departed, and it was just so wonderful. He was so nice and so kind, and so was Colin and Fraser. They were just everything one could imagine them to be. Just as compassionate and benevolent as the Doctors. It was just such a pleasure to meet them. And I would like to mention here, Paul McGann's voice. God, it's so great. It's so Shakespearean and irretrievably enthralling. So yes, I met 3 of the greatest people that have ever lived, and I experienced 3 greatest moments. 3 of the greatest moments of my life. But it wasn't quite over at that point, because then I went downstairs again, and I went to get a picture with Colin, which once again I'll show you at the end. And I asked him when I got in the studio if he could do the Vengeance on Varos pose, and he unfortunately didn't know what that was, so he said, "What's that then?" And I explained to him it was that one. So we both did that, we got the picture, and it is the best thing ever. I cannot wait to show you it. It's so great. Colin, his expression, and his body language is just so cool. And when I was there, I noticed there were so many 6th Doctor cosplayers, female and males, and there was also a Perry cosplayer, and believe it or not, from what I perceived, there were more 6th Doctor cosplayers than 10th Doctor cosplayers, which is quite an achievement. So slowly, Colin's winning. And then, after the picture, we went around the stalls again, making sure we'd covered everything, and then, but actually, no, sorry, before that, as we were walking through the stalls, I happened to notice someone that you may know. Yes, that's right. I noticed that Crystal D and Billy Tracy from the Five Who fans were just standing right in the middle, and so my sister and I went up and we got a picture, and I said how much I adore the Five Who fans, and they were very appreciative. And for Billy, I cried when Drashig died in It's Never Over Guy, and I'm a big fan of that show. And once again, they were very thankful, and they were just so kind and wonderful, and fully willing to get a picture, etc. And yes, that was an extra treat, meeting Crystal D from the Fan Show and Five Who fans originally, and Bill Tracy. And then that wasn't the end of my YouTuber meeting endeavour. In fact, I stumbled across Gallifrey Forever in the same sort of area, Gallifrey Forever 97, and I met him. I said I'm a subscriber and a big fan, and it was really great to meet him. And I also met Christopher Thompson, who you most probably know for his Patrick Troughton impression. And that was really great, and it was wonderful to meet them as well. Absolutely phenomenal. And I should mention Crystal was wearing that Ace jacket, which is indisputably marvellous, and really enhanced the whole meeting. So yeah, and then went around the merchandise, and I finally decided what I wanted. I'll show you in a second, but I purchased the Claws of Axos set, including the Brigadier Joe Grant and a male Axon. I also picked up Cassandra from the Series 1 wave, from The End of the World. I think I've been meaning to get for about 10 years, probably, so I was tremendously fortunate to finally pick that one up. And I also purchased a really nice Sixth Doctor mug that was released as part of the 30th anniversary celebrations in '93. And I will show you that in a minute. So yes, that pretty much concludes my day, and like I previously articulated, it was just extraordinary. One of the greatest days of my life. No, I have decided now, it was the greatest day of my life. Everyone I met was just so kind, the merchandise was positively glorious, and I loved how bizarre I looked, really, compared to everyone else. So yeah, what a day. So I'll just show you my merchandise and then I will sign off. So as you can see, my 70s shelf has been slightly rearranged with the 3 new arrivals. If I just lift this up there, you can see Joe Grant in the background with the Brigadier, and you can just see the face of the Axon. An exceedingly nice set that I was very, very pleased with, particularly the Axon and Brigadier. Joe Grant not so much, still a good figure. And yes, it is a very welcome addition to my collection. And the final addition here is this mug, which has a really nice design and a really nice picture of Colin there. And I love how this has been composed, and it just looks incredibly cool, with the Sixth Doctor obviously being my favourite. It's actually tremendously difficult to get hold of Sixth Doctor merchandise, since unfortunately he's not particularly popular and had an outrageously short tenure. So it's incredibly nice to pick this up, and I'm really glad I did, only for £6.50. And if we turn it around, we have the 1982 logo there, originally used for the 5 Doctors, and we've got the 30th anniversary there, 1963 to 1900. So yeah, a really, really nice piece, and I'm very glad to pick it up.